Welcome to the Golf Parent.
What you say?
Let's just say that you were given 100 junior players dropped off on one day, and you had one day to kind of watch them all hit and play around with them. Maybe not one day, but maybe a couple of weeks or so. Like, and then you were tasked with maybe picking the 10 out of those 100 that would have the best chance to go on and play high level junior and perhaps division one and professional golf. What would you be looking for out of that group of 100 kids?
Well, one of the things that's kind of a deal breaker, like we talked about earlier, is you got to have power, and you got to be able to develop the power. So, um, some kids are just naturally faster than others, and it's just like any sport. I've got a son who plays high level soccer. He's a goalie, and as he keeps progressing to higher and higher levels, you see the taller, fitter, more explosive athletes, and the pyramid keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? So that would be one thing, is just the physical ability to move that ball. And we now, unlike when I was growing up, we now train it. We train speed. We train power. Well, Tiger kind of revolutionized the fitness, and well, maybe before that was Gary Player, but nobody was listening to him compared to when Tiger came and had more exposure. Uh, but so power is definitely one thing. I would say another thing would be to mentally have tools uh, to be able to perform, like the ability to do breathing exercises, mental exercises, visualization exercises, things that uh, um, help calm you down. The ability to experience meditation that can put you in certain states that give you uh, a better chance. Because basically, when I look at the mental game, there's some great companies out there and teachers out there uh, for kids. And I'm part of one with Flow Code with Rick Sessinghouse. I've done a lot of work with Pia and Lynn at Vision 54, just arming kids with these skills, just like chipping is a skill, putting is a skill, and driving is a skill. Being able to monitor yourself mentally on the golf course, being aware of your state, knowing how to change your state when you're not in the ultimate state. Because what I feel the role of the mental game is the ability to put yourself in a situation where you have access to your skill set. I mean, just because you're mentally strong doesn't mean if you can only hit at 250, all of a sudden you could hit at 300. But you still want access to what you can do, and you want to do it. You want to have as much access as possible in order for you to play the best you can. So I would say power is definitely one. Mental skills definitely one. And then I would also say, like, I don't know if sense of humor, or these are kind of like, you know not necessarily tangible skills, but just the ability to laugh something off. Um, because sometimes I had my in-laws in town, and they're big tennis fans. I was watching the tennis U.S. Open a couple weeks ago, and there was this one match where Sinner was playing against Bublik, and Bublik was just getting killed. And Sinner's just this amazing player, and Bublik was just laughing because he's like, "This guy is so good, I cannot play." But it's like sometimes you're just outmatched, and sometimes you need a sense of humor. Say, you know what, it's okay. Tip your hat. The guy's playing better than me. And I do want to bring up another point about skills that I would look for. I would look for skills where the player is only comparing themselves to themselves and not comparing themselves to others for validation or self-worth or um, happiness based on whether they perform better than somebody else. And I say this to, like, not just my juniors, but every player that I teach. What did you do today that made you a better golfer than you were yesterday? Because ultimately, all we can do is we really have no influence over what anybody else does. Ultimately, all we can do is just go through the process and become better than we were before, and just keep improving. And then you see how it stacks up against other people. I mean, Rory's playing really well, but he's not stacking up against Scheffler right now, but that's okay. Rory's just doing the best he can, right? And and if you approach it like, I'm just comparing myself to myself, that's a really important trait. I'll give you a little anecdote. I had a kid who came to me with his dad for his first lesson, 10 years old. And I asked him why he plays golf. And his answer shocked me, but maybe it shouldn't have shocked me. He said, "Fame." How about that? So I said, okay. I only had a half an hour lesson with this kid, but I said, listen, I'm going to get to looking at your swing and we're gonna make you hit it better today. But before we start, I want to change and give you some more information about why we play golf or why we should play golf. It's not about TikTok, Instagram, fame, endorsements, all that kind of stuff. That's not why we play golf. And that's not what will get you to play your best golf. Uh, and I went back to just telling him about the pure joy. I said, when did you start playing golf? He said he was 6. I said, when you were 6, did you know about all this fame? He was like, no. He goes, why'd you hit the ball? Because it was fun. Oh, let's go back to that. Right. Because ultimately, and he had a hat that had a signature on it, and I'm like, oh, who signed it? He goes, oh, Scotty Scheffler. I said, hey, just out of curiosity, how many commercials is Scotty Scheffler in? I've never seen him in one, because Scotty just likes to practice and get better and be with his family. He didn't do it for them. He's still not doing it for the fame. He just likes to see how well he can play, and he loves to practice, and he loves to go to the golf course, be with his friends. He plays social golf when he's at home. He just loves golf. He's got a great Randy Smith, fantastic teacher. I'm sure he had a huge influence on him. He's been successful with so many different players, but I mean, you just saw a kid that loves to play golf. So I would say, going back to your question, one of the traits I'd look for is somebody who just loves the process of getting better, has a ton of fun playing the game, doesn't compare themselves to others. And yeah, they need to hit it pretty far if they're going to be elite. That's just part of the game we're playing these days. It's just is what it is, as they say.